Zion Hills Church was the pride of the village. People traveled far just to hear Pastor Elijah preach. He was elegant, educated, and carried himself with quiet power. Every Sunday, he wore a spotless white robe and spoke with a voice that made people cry, repent, and shout for joy. By his side stood Mama Joyce, his wife of 10 years. She was beautiful and curvy, always dressed in colorful fitted dresses, with her head wrap sitting just right. She smiled with grace, clapped with fire, and everyone believed she was the perfect first lady of the church. But even paradise hides snakes. One Sunday morning, a young man walked into the church. His name was David. He had smooth, dark skin, soft eyes, and a voice like honey. The moment he opened his mouth to sing, the entire church fell silent. It was as if the angels themselves had sent him. Mama Joyce sat in the front row, her eyes fixed on him. She clapped harder than anyone. She leaned to Elijah and whispered, "That boy is special." She didn't know how right she was. Weeks passed. David joined the choir, and Mama Joyce offered to help him rehearse. "You need guidance," she said softly. Soon, they were spending long evenings in the vestry, alone. At first, it was innocent. Then came the glances, the laughs. One night, their fingers brushed. They didn't pull away. 1 week later, they kissed. Mama Joyce's heart pounded. She was a pastor's wife, a respected woman, but David made her feel seen. Soon, it wasn't just kisses. They started meeting at her house during the week. Elijah was often out visiting sick church members or leading night prayers. Joyce would light candles, play soft gospel music, and David would arrive with his shirt slightly unbuttoned, his cologne strong and tempting. Each meeting was more passionate than the last. Joyce felt alive for the first time in years. But secrets can't stay hidden forever. Sister Abigail, the gossip queen of Zion Hills, began noticing things. Why is David always the last to leave choir practice? Why does Mama Joyce look like she's glowing on Wednesdays? She whispered to Deacon Mosa, who began watching carefully. One evening, he followed David and saw him slip into the pastor's house. He didn't come out for hours. Then it happened. Joyce missed her period. She stared at the test in her bathroom, her hands shaking, positive. "It can't be," she whispered. When David came over, she told him. His eyes widened in fear. "What do we do?" Joyce answered with silence. Pastor Elijah began to feel something was off. Joyce was distant. David was avoiding him. One Sunday, Elijah stood before the church and shouted, "There's a Judas among us." The congregation gasped. David's voice cracked when he sang that day. Joyce didn't clap at all. That night, Elijah returned home early. What he found broke him. He walked into the living room. There was David, shirtless, Joyce's dress on the floor. "Elijah," Joyce shouted. "David," Elijah roared. David grabbed his clothes and ran out the back door. Elijah didn't say a word. He walked outside and stood under the moonlight, breathing hard. The next morning, David was gone from the village. News spread like wildfire. She did what? with a boy young enough to be her son? Joyce stood in front of the congregation and admitted everything. "I have no excuses," she said, "but I will not apologize for feeling unloved." The church turned cold. People stopped coming. Pastor Elijah prayed alone in the pews. 9 months later, Joyce gave birth in silence. No nurses, no celebration. Just her and a midwife. The child had David's eyes, but the joy didn't last. Complications from birth left Joyce weak. She held her son and whispered, "You are my peace." That night, she closed her eyes and never woke up. Years later, David returned to Zion Hills. He was successful now, a man with a business, a house in the city, and regret in his heart. He went to Joyce's grave, knelt down, and cried like a child. In his hand was a small gift, a baby's toy, and a letter. She had written before dying, "If you're reading this, it means I'm gone. I never regretted loving you. Thank you for showing me what it meant to feel alive. Tell our son he was born from love." David stayed. He took care of his son. Pastor Elijah never remarried. He continued preaching, quieter now, humbler. People came back to Zion Hills, not because of the scandal, but because the story reminded them that even the righteous fall, even the holy bleed, and even the broken can rise again. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel for more. Bye for now.